Welcome to the I'm Such a Pisces podcast. We're two friends taking an explorative journey into all things astrology and a little woo. I'm Christine. I'm a creative, intuitive counselor and coach, and astrology enthusiast. We Pisces like to wear all the hats. You can find me on IG at The Dreamy Piscean.
And I'm Shelby. I am a licensed social worker, a big feelings person, and a light skeptic. Here to learn all the astrological things. You can find me on Twitter at Shelby Tweeting, and being a Cancer rising on Instagram at Shelby Cooking Things. Welcome to our show. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the I'm Such a Pisces podcast. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Christine.
And we're here. We made it to episode 5.
Episode 5 already.
I feel like it happened so fast. So fast.
Life comes at you fast. I've been saying that a lot lately. Life
Man,
comes at you fast.
Same. Especially in this fucking Mercury Retrograde.
Things supposed to be slowing down. It's coming fast. It's everything. Just
very fast.
Flying. Like, what's going on? Timeline jumps, all kind of stuff.
For real. And because life is coming at us so fast, do we just want to just do it and get into our co-star?
Let's get into it. I don't know how I looked at co-star today.
I did, and it was very succinct and very poignant, and it's a good one today.
Okay, go for it.
My co-star today says, open up.
Okay.
Which is crazy. It's not like I have a problem doing that. If somebody's like, tell me more about you, I'm like,
okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can't be mysterious to save my fucking life. This Gemini moon just yapping all day. The Aries Mercury, cannot be mysterious. So happy to open up mystery for you. And perhaps we'll get a little of that in this episode.
Okay.
My do's today include salt. She's salty. She's salty, bitch. Knickknacks. I love a knickknack.
Love a knickknack.
And houseplants.
Yeah.
It's giving estate sale vibes this week.
Oh, love that. Definitely love that.
That reminds me of just a tiniest little tangent. 2 things. It made me think of when I have a real job now where I have to go and work in person every day. And I have a commute. It's like a 30-minute commute. But the one thing that I will say is that I have been very entertained by seeing a lot of very funny bumper stickers and license plates to and from work. So I saw a bumper sticker yesterday that said, I break for estate sales.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, girl, yes. And then today, this has nothing to do with anything. I just thought it was funny. On the way home, I saw a personalized license plate that said BB. I literally took a picture. I took a picture of it and sent it to my friend who always has Drake in her top artists. And I was like, look at this fucking license plate.
I cannot. But I can. And it's probably a very nice vehicle.
It was very nice. It was like a brand new Chevy SUV. And I was like, somebody is so committed to that fucking bit. They got a personalized license plate. That's a hater right there. That's a fucking hater. That should make me laugh so hard. Anyway, thank you for letting me have that tangent. My don'ts today. Oh no, I didn't close the phone. There we go.
Uh-oh.
My don'ts today include triple checking, which that feels like bad advice for a retrograde. It says don't triple check.
Interesting.
Doesn't that feel like bad advice? But that's what it says.
Spontaneous, I guess.
That's what it says. So, okay. Old diaries, which that's valid. That's usually a bad idea for me. I love to get wrapped up in the nostalgia.
I do like an old diary.
And along that same line, no self-flagellation. So one and the same, right?
Yep.
Just don't do it to yourself today.
Just don't.
Just don't. Yeah. That's my co-star. What do you got today?
Open up. Okay. Today we have remind yourself you may rather than you must.
I like that. I like that. You don't have to. There's no shoulds. Just
yes.
Do you want to? You might.
I may.
You may. You may or may not.
I love living it. I may. I might.
Yeah.
But never must. I understand that. Like, I ain't got to do nothing.
No must. No. Not when we're on here talking about sense all the time. No must.
No, none of that must either. Definitely none of that must. We don't like to be musty.
No, none of that.
But, none of that musting of that other musting either. Just like, no, I ain't got to do nothing. Okay. Do high camp.
Ooh,
Yes.
camp. Yes.
Here
Okay.
for
All
that.
right. Okay.
Okay. New rules. Love a
Okay.
new rule.
Okay.
Do your own thing. Make it up as you go.
Make it up as you go.
And something borrowed.
Mm.
Now, well, okay.
What are you gonna borrow? Are you trying to make it dirty? You trying to make it?
Well, no, I wasn't trying to make it dirty. I was like, I mean, maybe criminal, but not borrowed it.
Just borrowed it. Just borrowing it. I'm not stealing it.
As another quick side note tangent, speaking of, well, maybe something borrowed, I don't know. So my parents wrote me a check, right, for my birthday. I tried to do a mobile deposit of the check. Was having issues with it. The thing was saying it wasn't taking the check. It wasn't the check. It was the upload process or whatever.
Very Mercury retrograde.
Very Mercury
Technology
retrograde.
issues.
Yes. You know what? I didn't even think about that at the moment. I was just frustrated because I had already, endorsed the check to a certain bank. And now,
no.
So I told my parents, I'm like, I'm going to have to get you to reissue the check. And, of course, they try to give me a hard time about it, asking me questions and stuff. And they tried to literally act like when I got over there to pick up the other check and to get some more of this cake that my mom got too much of. Then did you bring the other check? I'm like, I came straight here from work. I haven't had time to go home and get the check. And they're like, oh, no, we can't give you another check.
Do you think I'm trying to get one over? You think I'm trying to pull check fraud on my own
are you
parents?
Serious right now? They're like, oh yeah, they tell you to watch out for your kids.
Good.
I was like, wow, are you serious? No, they did write me another check, but I'm like,
but they gave you a little shit
I will
about it
send
first.
you a photo of the voided check if you need me to. Because I'm like, not you playing me like this.
I mean,
first of all,
look.
Maybe when I was younger. No.
No, no way. Not when you could just ask for it.
Exactly. Like if I needed it like that. Now at this point I'll ask for it as much as I still don't want to, but I will ask. Like, there's no need to again, commit a crime for it's not enough money to commit a crime over.
No.
Okay?
My God.
It's not enough.
But you know what? At least they're aware. They're not getting scammed. They've listened to the PSAs, okay? They're not getting scammed.
They're
proud of them.
They're trying. I'm like, I still have to stay on them. Like, no, don't do that. What is that? No. My dad will send me like, have you heard of this company? Like, you're trying to buy clothes and stuff. You're trying to shop online and stuff now. Yeah. He's like venturing into right, like Temu and all this stuff. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, I've never heard of that before. Like, no, it doesn't mean anything because there's a million little random shops and whatever. But he did show me a jacket that he bought. It was supposed to be a sweater or something, and it was like a shell. I was like, oh, yep, everyone has one of those, Daddy. So what I order, what I got.
Very different things. That makes me laugh because I have a friend who her parents will they refuse to put their credit card information online at all. And I'm just thinking about it because they're Black parents, and I'm like, that is not an experience that I know anything about. And she's like, oh yeah, I have the Hulu account and they send me a check to pay me for the Hulu account. They won't even go in the app to pay for a subscription service. And I'm like, how?
You can't even Zelle me?
Exactly.
Bank app?
How have they managed to get this far without but they're so serious about that shit. I'm like, okay.
Because I can't fool with that because I'm not dealing with all them checks.
That's too many checks. Nobody writes checks anymore. No. I'm so sorry.
Now I got to deposit. Now I got to fool with the mobile app, see if it's gonna take the check or not,
it's
or
too
if
much.
it's having glitches or whatever. Then I gotta go find an ATM, deposit check, or let alone go in a bank.
Oh my God!
And they don't want you to come in there.
No, they really don't.
Want you to come in the bank no more.
Stay out. Can't you do this online? Right. What are you doing?
They're like, oh, can you? And then when you come in, they're like, there's an ATM right there.
Everything that you need from me, you can do over there with a button. Actually. Damn.
That shit makes me
I'm trying to
laugh so hard.
I'm trying to keep you in business.
Right.
Isn't this your job?
You're not gonna have a job in a minute. You better take this cash.
Careful.
You better cash this shit. You better deposit this check.
I'm sorry. Did you finish doing your do's and don'ts?
No,
okay.
We're gonna finish. We're gonna get the don'ts.
We came so far around there.
It's just, hey. Anyways,
that's what we do.
That's what we do. We change it. So don't small spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Never.
Never. We don't have to. Lever hitting. Okay.
Okay.
Or lever hitting, one, leave your lever.
And leave or
whatever.
I think they're both right.
Yeah, and hit snooze.
Okay.
Well,
I love to hit snooze.
I did not hit snooze this morning, but I also did not get out of bed until 2 hours after my alarm.
Man, story of my life. Sometimes I hit the snooze, but sometimes I like to just lay there.
I just laid there. I was like, Chrissy, you could not do this. I'm telling on myself right now. And I was like, I emailed my coach. I was like, I'm gonna be about an hour late.
Literally, I used to do it all the time.
Or I didn't say I was gonna be late. I said I was pushing our appointments.
Yeah. Sorry, something came up. And by something came up, I mean I
am not
couldn't
ready.
get out of bed. And they don't care. They're in the building either way. So,
True. They're like,
all right, whatever, it's fine. Like, look, I got a lot of y'all, and I get to move things around as needed.
Things
I
come
will
up.
stay late, but let me just get there when I feel like it.
Hello, I mean, and we'll stay late.
And
get this shit done. I'm trying to work on this expense report today. Jesus,
yes, because
like,
that
this
shit
is
takes
someone else's
time.
job. Like, expense reports belongs to someone else. That's all I can say. Like, this does not belong to this position. I'm like, what is what? Okay, now what is this over here? I just, at the end of the day, I was like, ooh, I'm getting hangry. I'm getting a headache. I'm like, I just
Can't
gotta
have
finish
that.
this tomorrow. Like, I'm trying to get my little money back, but like, tomorrow. We got everything put in, I think, except for one thing, and I said, that's all right. We'll do this tomorrow.
Yeah, you got another day. Be
We got
okay.
another day. We got plenty of days to get it done, but we want the money back.
That's true. When we want it, and it's my money, and I want it now.
And I want it now. I want it now. I got plans. I already spent that money in my head.
Speaking of wanting money now.
Oh,
Sorry, that was the best transition I could possibly think of right there. It's like, do we want to do an Aries season celebrity birth chart?
Okay, so
I can't believe we've never done her before. Spoiler.
Right? Yes, it's a she.
It's a
She's
she. She's a she.
Yes, so the diva herself, honey.
The number one diva.
Okay, Aries queen, Miss Mariah Carey.
Yes.
Is our celebrity birth chart this week. So, just off the rip, we know she's an Aries, right? Aries sun.
Obviously.
She has a Cancer moon. How sweet.
I didn't know that, but you know what? Right? I bet she's a great mom.
Very loving. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, just because you're a Cancer moon does not mean that you have to have kids or whatever, but like, it is a very motherly, it's like the instinct very motherly. Is there to very nurture something.
Yes.
Something, someone.
Lots of plants, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
Lots of some kind of dogs. I don't know.
Because who's probably not nurturing is fucking Nick Cannon, who is her ex-husband.
How can he be?
There's too many of them to go around.
Too many, and in too many different places.
He's a Libra. Sorry, I just had to look that up because I was unsure. That makes
sense.
Yeah, doesn't it?
He loves love. He just loves to love on many women.
He must have some sort of weird like repopulation theory happening in his head or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe, in his mind, people are like, oh, I can afford it. And you can. And there's more than just affording children.
Yeah,
like, I know we talk about the cost of kids, but
but it's more than that.
It's more than that. Like, they need you around.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they also need your presence.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mariah Carey is a Taurus rising. Love that.
I love that for her. Aesthetically, I could see it. Yeah.
Also, like I can recognize some of those Taurus rising traits in her. Like, yeah, it's relatable. I see it. She said, I'm gonna do the best I can with what I got. Okay.
That's right.
And so that's what she got. So what else we got here? We've got a Mercury in Pisces. Really?
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
But you know what? She's got depth. She's got range.
Come on. She's got the range.
We know.
Got the range. Yeah.
I could see it.
Aries Venus.
Oh, sexy.
Getting them.
You get it.
And a Sag Mars.
Oh my
She's
God,
very
she gets
fiery.
down.
Yes.
She fucks.
We know why, Mariah. We know. We get it. We get it.
All of a
We
sudden,
get it.
it's making way more sense. That's so interesting.
Yes. And so, just for her, the rest of the planets, she's got Libra, or Jupiter in Libra. Saturn is in Aries as well. Uranus is in Libra. Neptune is in Scorpio. Pluto is in Virgo. She's one of those Pluto Virgo folks. Well, that's that. So let's do a quick look at her. What the angles? Oh, she's got a kite.
Yeah, I see that. It's really interesting. I was gonna say her chart just like visually is very like there's a lot of, I don't know if this means anything, but it feels very even to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some good balance in there. I mean, that is a nice, like, nicely defined kite right there in your chart. Okay,
Yeah.
I love that. So, okay. There's nothing jumping out at me specifically, but just I like that. That's nice to see. There are quite a few oppositions in her chart.
That is also true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right around. It seems like a lot of things are opposing her Jupiter. Interesting. Okay. So she's got the Sun, North Node, Chiron, and Mercury that appear to be opposing her Jupiter. And then Mercury is opposing her Pluto.
Interesting.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, there's some things there. There's some tensions there.
Some tensions. Okay.
But yeah. But the kite is nice. I'm like, okay.
The kite is nice,
go
right?
ahead, girl.
Yeah.
I like that.
I wonder, I don't know, I think about Mariah Carey now, like obviously she's so successful, she's so talented, but now I just like immediately the first thing I think of when I think of Mariah Carey is the Christmas memes. It's like after Halloween and all the memes of her just like peeking around the corner being like, it's time. It's time. Like maybe the most successful Christmas song of our lifetime.
Probably
by far.
It's maybe of all time.
Maybe of all time.
I think she may be up there. I think she may be there. Like that.
And good for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
She deserves it.
I love that for her. Like she is again the #1 diva, and she knows who she is.
And she knows.
It's like, hey, it's me. Okay. It's like being Beyonce. It's it's the same.
Exactly.
Like
a true diva.
Get up.
We bow down.
And this is the Aries. Here's the difference. And I just thought about this in comparing her, not comparing her to Beyonce, but saying it's like being your Beyonce. So you remember, Beyonce, she won the was it a Grammy? Yeah, for the best album or whatever the actual award was for. But there's the clip of like Blue, like get up, girl.
Yeah.
Get up.
Get up.
You are fucking Beyonce. Like, why are you surprised about
that Virgo, like, she still has that humility.
And, of course, Capricorn daughter.
Yes.
Get up, girl.
Go. Get on. Come on. Yeah.
Now, key difference, Mariah Carey is an Aries.
Yeah.
None of that exists.
None of that. She's like, yes.
I am that girl.
Great. Thank you so much. I deserve this.
I am a diva. I am all of those things.
Yes. And,
difference.
There's pros and cons to both. Like, I think, celebrate yourself, of course. I think Beyonce's Virgo perfectionism is what makes her so great in a lot of ways. But also, like, I kind of love the idea of just like, yeah, I do deserve this. Like, good for her. She is talented. As fuck.
Am that girl. Yes.
I can't be mad at that.
Can never be mad about it. So I share this Aries energy, and sometimes people are like, why are you so confident? I'm like, I just am that girl. I don't know what to tell you. I'm that girl.
Look, the Aries Mercury, it comes out from time to time.
It just comes out, What can I say? All right.
Oh, yeah. So the only other thing I wanted to talk about in our relatable content this week is that, like, I had not really been feeling super hard like it was a Mercury retrograde because I felt like things were going fairly smoothly. I was trying to, do my R's, my reviewing, my reflecting, all of my things for Mercury retrograde. But globally, people are not doing that. So I don't know how much of this you've seen just with the news, but like this is the most just quintessential Mercury retrograde shit. So this week we had the journalist, I already forgot his name. Anyway, I should have written it down. I'll look it up and then I can talk about that later. But the journalist from the Atlantic accidentally got added to a secure server where he was in a group chat with the fucking Secretary of Defense and JD Vance and a bunch of other people where they were talking about bombing fucking Yemen in a group chat. And then he was just in this chat and not supposed to be. Like, why would you not double, triple, quadruple check that shit? Like, it was not secure.
It was not secure.
Some crazy shit. Like, the level of just...
Yeah, why was it in the group chat?
Why were you talking about this over a text? Like, don't y'all have meetings for this? Like,
this is what meetings are for. This is what we need to meet in person about.
Yeah, this meeting could not have been an email.
Yeah, like this, absolutely not.
Not an email situation.
These are the things we need to line up for people. This, not an email. This, an email.
An email. Not even an email. This was a fucking text. So
right.
I could not get over the fact that, of course, with everything we've talked about with Pluto, all this uncovering of truth, all of that, but also this happening during a Mercury retrograde, just like nobody can tell me that this shit is not real. Like, of course, this is when this would happen. Yeah, the whole thing has just been monumentally fucked up. And I'm sure Hillary is rolling over right now, just being like, y'all were mad at me about an email server where you didn't even really find anything. Like, that's what y'all were mad about. And this is what's happening. Just the nonchalance with which they were talking about bombing an entire country is so fucked up to me.
Absolutely. Anyway, but not a surprise.
But not a surprise. Yeah, no one should be surprised. It's just really fucking crazy. And I'm probably on a watch list now, so there's that. But who cares?
Are we all?
Like, I don't, yeah. But at this point, I think everybody is,
You can't get us rid of us all.
I cannot believe that they are organized enough to do anything about it. So, I don't know. Yeah, so that shit happened. Oh, the other thing I saw is that Mike Johnson, who is another, I think he's a cabinet member. So this shit came out, and then I saw that he came out as being he was like somebody found him on Grindr. Oh, he's the Speaker of the House. Anyway, he's on Grindr. He's got a Grindr profile, which now that I'm looking at him, not super surprising, but just like, yeah, they must not have known that it was Mercury retrograde. That's all I can say about that.
These folks just never cease to amuse me. Just like, what are you? I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
This whole anti-gay agenda, and yet here you are on the DL.
It's always
them.
It's always them.
It's always them.
It's always them.
Why do you care so much about what other people are doing if you're not just like deeply trying to cover up your own shit,
Free yourself. That's what I got to say. Free yourself.
It feels so much better.
The need to hide. And
because for what?
For what?
For what? So I have just been so like, what the fuck about everything? Like, sometimes I just read a news headline and I'm like, there's no way that's fucking real. There's no way that's fucking real. And yet it is. Everything is an Onion article.
It is. This is where we are.
Crazy.
It's just crazy land.
So that's happening. April 6th is when the Mercury retrograde will be over. And you know what? We're not done talking about the retrogrades yet because we've got a whole discussion about it. So I just wanted to get that little piece of the news out. I feel like I'm always coming in here being like, did you see this thing that happened on the it's like, no, we don't need to take the episode with that energy. So I'm just, let me get that out in the relatable content, and then we'll talk about the rest of the stuff, and it'll be fun.
Talk about the rest of the stuff. It's like these crazy. I mean, I was talking to someone at work today. Just I'm like, yep, I can't tell you that I've seen the person that runs this country. I just don't look at them.
And
I'm
that's
sorry. I know
valid.
that's,
There's no need.
some people feel that's irresponsible. I'm not tuning into it.
No.
I got other stuff. Let me know what happens.
It's gonna be bad and someone will tell you about it.
Yep,
So
I
there's
just
really
can't.
no need for the firsthand information.
No, because I know where I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna be mad. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm good. I'm like, I'd
Okay.
rather just not.
I need the space for the positive energy.
Yeah, I need the space to deal with this other shit because I'm, dealing with the stuff, still dealing with the residuals.
Mhm.
I got
Mhm.
people asking me how to have conversations with children about not seeing their friends that they were here today and now they're gone tomorrow and they didn't get to say goodbye. I'm
It's too
like
much.
trying not to cry as this person tell me about it. And I'm like, hold it together, but
Hold it
also
together.
like I am going to break down in a moment. Just think about these little babies and
I
they're like, my
know.
friend. And
My
I didn't get
friend.
to say goodbye and they're gone. Maybe they fled, maybe they were deported. We don't know.
We
But I'm
don't
like,
know.
I just, I don't have it for that man. So I'm just, we're down here trying to do the work.
Trying to do the work. Trying to, yes, as you said, the residuals. We're
The
both
residuals.
about to be real deep in it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yeah, I can't. So it's like, let me know what happens next. But I got to have some peace about myself.
Please. Well, speaking of having some peace about ourselves, would you like to take a quick break and then come
Yes.
back with our meets?
Come back and get into these meets.
All right. We'll be right back, y'all.
All right, y'all, we are back with the meets, and we are here to talk about Venus retrograde and all the retrograde action and eclipse action that we got going on. It's a lot of energy going on right now, y'all.
So much energy.
Just,
Oh my
are you
God.
feeling it?
I'm tired.
Can you feel it?
Can you feel
Can
it,
you
Mr.
feel
Krabs?
it?
That was,
Can you
sorry, that was,
feel
we were
See, I
making two
went
very different
very,
references.
that talks about the age, and that speaks to our age, okay?
That
speaks to our age.
Sometimes I forget that like I can't make SpongeBob references to you, and that just feels like a
But
weird.
at least I knew that it was a SpongeBob
You did know
reference.
that, yes, you did. I don't know why that has just become such a cultural touch point to people in this very specific age range. Like it is so deep in the brainstem. I like immediately. That's what I thought of. I love that. I forget sometimes that there is even an age gap at all.
That was great. Just, I go like Jackson 5 and you go SpongeBob. I'm like, yeah.
That's not, I don't think that's good for me. Like the youth of my generation are not, I don't think we're well. Yours is much better.
I loved it. That was just a pure moment. Just
It really
right
was.
there. It's pure.
I love that for us. I love that for us.
So yes, can you feel
Can
the
you
Venus
feel?
retrograde, okay? And the
The answer
Mercury
is yes.
retrograde and the Juno retrograde and the eclipse season and anything else that's going. The sun is Venus is conjunct my sun today. Been very reflective.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, you're gonna have to tell me what that means.
Oh yeah. So well, Venus is retrograde. So we, as we're about to, really get into this. So we know Venus was in Aries. It started to retrograde, and so now it has crested Pisces. So it is at 29 degrees Pisces. Now it may be 28 degrees at this point. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
But I think sometime between last night and this morning, it was at 29 degrees Pisces, and so there's that highlighted energy around your things like that, but also mixed in with the retrograde energy. So we'll get into it in a second.
Okay.
I'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
My actual, aspects. So I'm not preempting the episode information.
That's fair. Sorry, I got too many questions.
No, you're good. You're good. I just, as I started to explain, I'm like, let's come back to this. Let's put a pin in it, and we'll come back to what that means for me. Real quick and dirty overview.
Quick and
what
dirty.
A retrograde
just like
is.
we like it.
Just like we like it. And so retrogrades, if you are brand new to astrology and this podcast,
we hope this isn't your first time.
We hope it's not, but welcome if it is.
Welcome.
retrograde is something that happens to many bodies, many planets out there. And, it's when the planet appears to move backwards. Now, all of that has to do with like the Earth's tilt and all that kind of stuff. Planets aren't actually moving backwards, things like that. But there's the appearance. And so during this period of time when that planet or that body is retrograde, we're supposed to slow down in those areas and really give intention to that area, to the themes that that planet or that body represents. So that's a real quick and dirty version of retrograde. Now, if you want to get deeper into it, we've got episodes.
We got a whole episode.
Get into it. And so just go back and have a listen, or do a little research for yourself about retrogrades. We hope this inspires research. Absolutely.
Yes, always. That's one of the R's in the Mercury retrograde. Reflect, research, review, all those things. Do all those things.
Read,
please. Nobody knows how to do it anymore. Read something.
Truly, it's an epidemic. So we're going to get into talking about Venus retrograde. Now, I have heard people refer to a Venus retrograde as rare, and that's kind of weird. But I would say it's not frequent.
Yeah, it's
we think of a Mercury retrograde, but I wouldn't say it's rare because it still happens regularly. It just doesn't happen as regularly or as frequently as Mercury.
The last one we just talked about, the last one was when you had a big breakup, right? So that was what, 2021? Is that right?
It's very end of 2021. That was the one in Capricorn. And so I think, what is it? Every 18 months, I believe, that Venus retrogrades. Yeah. And so it's not it's not quite 2 years. So actually, there might have been a retrograde in between that. That was just, poignant for me. That one was.
Yeah, there may have been one in there.
There may have been one in between. Yeah. I don't know.
We just remember that one because there was a lot happening.
There was a lot happening. And that's, I was like, oh, what's this supposed to be like? But I'm not in a relationship, so there's nothing to break up, at least.
That's true. That's true.
There's nothing to break up or break down because there was a breakdown before a breakup.
That's usually how it goes. Usually, if you're having a breakup, there's also a breakdown either before or after or somewhere in between.
Yes. Well, there was a breakdown of the relationship. Yes. And then we broke up months later, but the breakdown happened during the retrograde.
The retrograde. Yes. Yes.
Things went down, and then months later, the breakup happened. But the fallout. So hopefully, I won't say hopefully your relationships aren't falling apart, but if they're meant to fall apart and because it's better for you, then I hope you take care of yourself.
You know what? I saw a thing the other day that I really like that as a reframe. I saw somebody saying look, if you break up during a retrograde, that show was not meant to be in the first place. So this did trigger this thing, but also it was going to happen eventually, or it should happen eventually anyway. So fair. That's fair. Heard.
Sometimes we don't have to stay together.
That's right.
Some things we should just let go.
That's right. It's appropriate. Okay. That's appropriate.
Yeah, it's all right. So, like I said a moment ago, Venus was in Aries. It was doing its little thing, taking its little path. It was in Aries. And, then it went retrograde. And now it's been retrograde for, a few weeks now? 2 or 3 weeks now?
Yeah, about 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah. And so now it is making its way through Pisces. And so starting off in Aries, right? You've got these are different energies completely, right?
Completely different energies.
Yes. And so Aries is much more self-focused, right?
Baby.
Baby, right? Yes. Yes, I'm baby.
I'm baby.
Yes. And so focus on me, love me, self-love. How do these, relationships affect me? What are my needs? Whether it's in relationship. Also, again, Venus is not just about love. We've got our value systems wrapped up here. We've got our aesthetics and our beauty, our money wrapped up here. Not to forget the money. Okay, never to forget the bag.
Don't forget the bag. Yes, absolutely.
I can't do it. My Taurus just won't let me forget the bag.
Right.
So all of these things are affected through Venus being retrograde. So these are all energies, all things we want to focus on, thinking about more intentionally. We can say, review it and all the re's, but really I think the gist of it is intention. Like, slow down enough. In Aries, we know about Aries. Aries don't do nothing slow.
What did we say last week? All gas, no brakes.
All gas and no brakes. You know, so they don't know about slow. And so I'm sure a retrograde in Aries is like, what?
Right.
You know?
Ooh, yeah.
It's like slow, it's quick, fat, slow, quick, you know, I don't know. I'm talking dance steps now. I don't know. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, a lot of that feeling energy.
Yes. And so, you know, we want to slow down. But so the Venus retrograde had us reviewing those things that are, you know, reflecting ourselves, talking about ourselves. And so moving into Pisces, again, you get a completely different energy, right? Much more loving, much more universal, right? Not just self-love, but love of all.
Everybody gets some love.
Yes, everyone gets love.
Yes.
It's very, you know, loving in that way.
We love to spread our love around.
Sharing. Yeah, sharing is caring, you know? That's Pisces. And so we also get more, you know, nostalgia about, you know, those former flings we may have had.
Man.
Or actual partners, you know.
Your ex is creeping into your DMs right now. I can feel it.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh my God. Hey.
Don't answer,
you, baby.
It's a retrograde. Don't fall for
answer.
it.
Don't do anything.
Don't
Just
fall
take
into
your
the
time.
nostalgia.
Back away from that text.
Slowly back away.
Back away from it. All right. So, but you know, Pisces is also very spiritual. So we're going to have our karmic ties wrapped up in here. You know, currently experiencing this personally. Those karmic ties, they just always come back. Yeah, I mean, well, we'll get into that. But I'm like, the aspect, you know, again, I said, you know, the sun aspect, anything that aspects my sun aspects my twin sun. And so there we are. So we are wrapped up together in this. Also, look out for old wounds reopening. So we talk about exes coming back, right? And that's all tied together, right? Those old wounds.
Yep.
From your ex.
Yep. Don't forget about those as well.
Opening up.
Yeah.
Hey. Thought I was over that.
To me, this also is giving, like, you thought you were healed from this, but actually you were just like in a different situation. And now a situation is going to arise where perhaps you realize that energy is still there. That feeling is still there.
But no, we need to revisit this, right? We need to look at this situation again, or look at these, you know, look at my coping strategies again, or how I was dealing with something, or maybe there's just a little bit more that came up, you know, because we know healing is not linear, right? So things, you know, they get better and like, okay, it's smooth. And then something happens and you're like, whoa.
It comes right back around.
Thought I was done with this. I thought it was over you. But I'm still crying. Because I still
Why am I still crying?
Am I going to quote songs all night? I don't know.
Could, though. So many that you could quote.
So, you know, be aware that all of these things may be coming up, right? And so one of the questions to ask is, are you repeating a cycle or are you breaking free of this cycle?
It's so hard to know. It's so hard to know until you're out of it.
Again, as someone who right there in it, just like, I'm like, I feel all of this so much because it's very personal. Like I've been doing so much reflecting on relationships and like we talked about the Aries to Pisces, like definitely started off like, what are my needs? Like, what do I want? Like, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And it's definitely moved more into like this connection thing, like this connection. I think there's something here. I think there's something that's meant to happen here. Maybe we should have a child. I'm like, what's going on, Christine? This is crazy.
Whoa. Crazy. How did we get here?
It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what's going on? And this is not even like, that's a whole other story. Anyways, I'm like, do you want to have a child, Christy? I don't know, girl. I'm like, we're talking about it. Me, myself, and I were really having discussions.
Hey, well, that's how you figure stuff out, I guess, is you have the discussions. But, you know, proceed with caution.
No action should be taken during this time.
Exactly.
Did I say that about the retrogrades?
No action.
Don't take action.
Research and review, yes. Consider.
Do all the thinking you want to do.
Don't act on anything until it's time.
Till it's over.
Till it's all over.
Yeah.
Which is what, April 12th? Is that right? Yeah, we got some time.
got some time. So just sit with it. Sit with it. And like, Mother Nature has to decide to visit me. So there's nothing I can do right now.
Doesn't matter anyway. Doesn't matter
It's like, oh no, girl,
anyway.
you're thinking crazy thoughts. Let me come on in here.
Nope. No.
So, who is going to be feeling this Venus retrograde the most, right? We'll all feel
Mm.
it, and we probably are all feeling it. If you've just been in your head, you've just been
Mhm.
like really thinking about your relationships. And
Mhm.
these are not just romantic relationships, though those are more of the focus, right? Our partnerships, our relationships in that way. But again, when we talk about Venus, we talk about, this is not necessarily seventh house, but because Venus and all of that is kind of tied together, want to think about other, close partnerships, it could
Mhm.
be business partners, it could be, ex folk,
Mm.
like, frenemies or
Right.
enemies, so you want to, think about all of those players as it's considered here. So our fire and air signs gonna struggle with slowing down emotionally. So like we just said,
Oh,
right?
weird. That's so crazy. I would not have guessed.
Gonna struggle with this. So you
Mhm.
want to really spend the time being intentional
Mhm.
about what you're going to do to slow down. So we love to talk about like, oh, I'm gonna do something. Okay, what's that gonna look like? How are you gonna do
Mhm.
it?
Right. Right.
How are you going about this? Because this isn't your norm, right? So sometimes we gotta make a little plan.
Mhm.
Like, okay, what's the reality of the situation? How are you
Mhm.
gonna do it? Write it down or something. You might have to do that.
There you go. Make a real plan instead of
Make a
just
real
charging
plan.
headfirst into doing it. How about that? Ram
Mm.
Aries. I'm
Woo! Woo!
this
I feel called out.
sorry. It's me as well. When
Yes,
I have the
called out.
tendency.
But truly, I mean, this is what you start to figure like these are things I have to do for myself because I
Mhm.
know myself that I know how I am. And so I'm going to have to make these adjustments
Mhm.
so, things can go smoothly. So, our water and earth signs, again, we talked about that nostalgia that you're going to be experiencing. That's us. We're going to
Yes.
be deep in it and those emotional patterns, those situations,
Mhm.
all that's coming up. Okay,
Mhm.
just be prepared for it, right? Just get ready.
Yeah.
But our Pisces, us in particular, this is going to be like a very karmic moment for us, very main character. I'm like, again, I'm feeling all of this stuff and like,
Hmm.
why is this? This is so? It's so interesting that it's just happening right now. I'm like, why is it happening during the retrograde? Because it's retrograde. I'm
Right.
like,
It's time. It's time for the things to
it's so
resurface.
wild the way it just happens during this time. And I'm like, again, like you said, you can't tell me, no one can tell me
No one can
that
tell me.
astrology isn't real. I've experienced way too much.
Yeah.
But it is quite interesting that like all of this is coming up and being reflected on and being thought about. And just like,
Mhm.
literally on a daily basis. Like I lay my head down at night and I'm thinking about these things.
I was also thinking today, and I know we don't, you know what? Never mind. That is literally, I was about to say, it's literally the next thing on your chart on the outline. So sorry, clearly I did not have time to review the outline before, but I was literally about to talk about the eclipse and how the veil is really thin right now. And like, because of the eclipse. And I was like, oh, you
I
know
love
what?
it.
Nope, she's got
I
that here already.
love it. Well, look, just start us off, Shelby.
That's what I was saying is just like you said it, you're feeling it extra heavy right now. And I'm like, I imagine that a lot of people, especially if you are deeply tuned in to this kind of stuff. And again, like, I know you've experienced this. This has happened to me a few times, especially in the last like year or so. I've been feeling a little more settled. If you start to notice it, then it starts happening more. Like you just, as soon as you tune into the shit, you
Mm-hmm.
see it, it's everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like now especially, we know that with eclipse season in general, eclipses like that veil between the spiritual realm and our
In
what
our
day-to-day
physical realm.
reality, yeah, is very thin. So it
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm feeling that right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, it's just wild. I don't know. It's interesting to really conceptualize like, oh, this is actually happening again. Yeah, if you're tuned in, you actually
Hmm.
really start to like, this is all the
Tune
things.
that frequency to the right station or
Turn it to the
whatever.
right station.
And all of a sudden here
Say,
it
hey, go
is.
on 5. Go on 5. Let's talk about like
here we are.
Yes. And so our eclipses, because it is also eclipse season, I think we're actually coming to the end of it here, like in the next few days or something. I thought I had seen something come up about that on one of my astrology apps.
Mm.
But yes, so our eclipse season is coming to an end because it is only 2 weeks.
Hmm.
But we know that eclipse, between the two eclipses, again, like we said, the veil is very thin, but it's also like really just intense
Hmm.
energy. And so
Hmm.
our eclipses are going to really highlight our major life shifts, any kind of fated events.
Hmm.
You talk about, unexpected endings and unexpected beginnings.
And that
Things you just didn't think were coming.
that makes me think of, and this is something that I always hear from one of our other fave astrologers, Jessica Lanyadoo, is that like
Yes.
eclipses set things into motion,
Uh-huh.
and then you kind of feel the effects, in 6
In the
months,
uh-huh.
in the
In those
next,
later months. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So, this is like, even if something doesn't necessarily happen right now, this is the beginning of a lot of big shifts for a lot of people. Like things
Yes.
will start kind of clicking into place, and then
Right.
you'll see the fallout, or the not even
Yes.
fallout's not necessarily the right word, but you'll see the
The
effects.
residuals,
The
right? The
residuals. There
residuals.
we go. That's a good
That's
word
our
for
word
it.
for today.
Yeah.
Residuals.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is definitely setting the stage. And you might not, again, depending on how attuned you are and this that, and the other, like you might not notice what exactly is being set up,
Hmm.
but you will definitely see that over the next several months. And so again, eclipse is nothing you should do. Often tell people like don't do any like work during this time, like not work, but like spiritual work, spell work, things like that. You're not trying to
Manifestation.
manifest things.
Yeah.
This is
Now is
not the
not the
time.
time.
Not the time. There's too much
Again,
going on.
another thing that Jessica Lanyadoo would always say, and that I literally never listen to, is this is not a good time for consciousness raising drugs. I was like,
As a smoke one right now, like yeah,
yeah,
no,
great. Good to know.
yes,
Just gonna
thank
tuck
you.
that in the back pocket.
If
It does
something
though.
happens, I'll remind myself. Jessica said it.
Jessica said,
She
every time
said.
I hear that advice, though, it does give me a little bit of pause. It doesn't necessarily stop me from taking my little edibles or whatever, but I
Mm-hmm.
am more cautious about the set and setting in which I do those things. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I will take a little edible and then I'll go out with my friends and whatever, and it keeps me from drinking less
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But like in these trying times, I usually try to refrain, from doing stuff like that. I'm like, okay, now's not the
Yeah.
time to be out in public and be stoned out of my fucking gourd.
I am often reminded that it's not always the time to do it and leave the house. Like I
Hmm.
was shopping recently and I ran into someone I used to work with and I didn't immediately recognize. Like I
Cool.
knew her, but I was like, "What? We worked at such and such
Yeah.
school together." And I'm like,
Hi. This is not a good time for me.
"It's not great. It's not
Yeah,
great."
I've had to be a little more cautious about that recently. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
especially now, that I'm working in a big organization. I'm like, oh, I'm probably going to run into people in public more often, and that happened all
More
the time when I
often.
lived in Nashville because the school system is massive.
Yeah.
Somebody, you're always going to run into somebody, right? Yeah,
Right.
it's a
Right.
big small town.
It's like, oh, great. I mean, luckily, that wasn't like a big deal, but I'm like, you really gotta just chill. Like,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
need to do this before you leave the house.
yeah. You never know.
But I just like to float through my errands and shopping and
I do too. It makes the grocery store so much more fun.
you
Like,
know,
let me have the simple pleasures in life, okay? Self
I don't have
care.
to worry about people. Like, she looks
I
like
gotta
she
say
was a
though,
little,
I have the luxury of it's legal here, so I'm like, what are you gonna do?
yes,
This is what I do on my time
yes.
off, and it's perfectly legal. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Like,
Yes. But I mean, the people that judge, there are the people that judge. Like everyone, most people don't care, like, regardless, but it's just the people that will judge, just they gonna judge anyway.
right,
You
right,
know. So we just
exactly.
leave
There's
them
nothing I can
Virgos
do
over
about
there.
that.
You know.
Exactly,
Just leave them over there.
exactly.
Like we ain't
Nothing
worried
I can
about
do
them
about that.
Virgos. Okay.
Anyway,
So
so eclipse season in the context
yes.
of all of this.
So yeah, so did I lose my place? No, I did not. So, when we're talking about our Venus retrograde as well as the eclipse season, we're talking about not just reconsidering like what love looks like and like reimagining or re-whatevering your love life. It's about like rewriting your relationship stories.
Yeah.
Those narratives that we tell ourselves, those stories in our minds. Like really going back through those things, maybe question them a little bit. Like,
yeah, I was having a very intense conversation with a friend very recently about labels and how we put labels on ourselves. And, she was saying like, yeah, I think this is a time, like I've always labeled myself in this particular way. And now I'm like, maybe starting to think I'm not that anymore. And like, but now that's my, a lot of my identity is tied up in that. And I'm like, my Aquarius, Venus, and Mars are just like screaming, like, no, who needs a fucking label? Like, just, be whatever, like, has a lot of feelings about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a good time to kind of review those things. Are the labels that you give yourself a good fit still?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not.
She's got some retrograde Venus like contacting her first house in some way. Talking about their identity, right? It's like, yeah. And again, all of these things, you want to look at, just like, I said, how this is aspecting my sun currently. Look at your chart, check out how the transits are actually affecting your chart and like what it might be making contact with.
Right.
Yeah, because that's definitely good stuff to know. I've been, well, I guess since Venus is retrograde, it's not there, but Venus had been very much in contact with my Chiron in the past few weeks before it started its retrograde. And man, things were coming up. Okay. So it's like this whole period has been like this, like revisiting this love space, and like thinking about relationships and healing certain things. And like, so this has been like a time for me, like the last few months, truly. Like I've had all kinds of like Venus and like all these different contacts with Venus and my planets, and then other planets contacting my Venus at the same time. And so I'm like, "Ooh, girl, okay, we just in it right now with love, and we're just thinking about it, and it's there. It's like, okay, keeps coming up. I'm just trying to chill. You just want me to think about this stuff, girl. What do you want?" So we're thinking about the things. Now, this does not mean, we are thinking. And so sometimes in all that thinking, we might break up.
We might if we think too much about things. It. But again, it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, then it, it's
let it, it might be painful. We know breakups hurt. They're not great. Sometimes they're even terrible. But, it's like the Phoenix Rising, baby. Like, just let it burn.
More to come.
Rise up out the ashes, okay, girl? Now, you may also have a breakthrough.
You might.
I'm hoping for the breakthrough.
I
mean, I don't have anybody to break up with. So
yeah, you can't have a breakup. So
hopefully a breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
We love a breakthrough.
Fingers crossed on that.
But also there may be some plot twists.
Always a plot twist.
Okay, because again, we got that eclipse in there. And we got some other retrograde action, which we're going to talk about in a couple minutes. But again, like we said, there's a lot going on. So you might want to just, again, take it easy and be open to all possibilities.
Yeah. Just expect the unexpected.
Anything can happen, okay? Truly during eclipse season, especially. Like,
right.
We don't even know. Just the moon is wild. We know that girl is wild. She's a wild girl. And so you just got to take it easy. So, okay, how do we want to navigate during this particular retrograde? So we want to reflect on the love patterns, right? We want to see the patterns, have some awareness.
Recognize.
Right? Because if we recognize, hello.
That's a re. It's another re. That's the first step. That's a basic step. We got to recognize before we can
recognize,
review, and reflect, and all the other things.
Yes. So once we see the patterns, we want to set boundaries. We don't love those boundaries, Pisces, but we want to set some boundaries, maybe with ourselves, maybe with others. And we want to revisit those old wounds with clarity.
It's the key word there. Because we can revisit old wounds all day and then fall into the same fucking patterns.
Well, and so that's why we're reflecting on them first. before we revisit them. So let's reflect on things. And then we, once we have the awareness, we can revisit the old wounds and get the clarity we need. So what we don't want to do, again, is make any impulsive decisions, especially around the relationships. Don't text your ex.
Don't do it. That's classic retrograde advice.
Don't text your ex. And don't get lost in the nostalgia. Like, don't get lost in it. You can revisit it, right? You can revisit it.
Yeah, that's healthy, right? You don't want to just push memories down either.
Right. But, just let it be there and then just let it leave.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Let it be there and let it leave.
Like they talk about in meditation with the feelings. They come up, you acknowledge them, you say hello, and then you let them just go on by. Like, okay, thank you for visiting. I'll see you later.
Come on, Remy, it's the guest house.
Yes.
Make them some tea.
Mm-hmm.
And send them on their way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you gotta have boundaries with them too.
Yes. Look, you can't stay here forever. So now, just as a rule, and this is a general rule, but if it's meant for you, it's gonna find you, right? I always like to say, look, if it's meant for me, it's not gonna miss me. Mm-hmm. Nothing that is meant for me will miss me.
That's perfect advice. I love that.
And so just wait for the thing to clear up. Wait for the retrograde to clear. The dust to settle, right? Like, it's a lot of the energy going on. Mm-hmm. So wait for that to settle down.
Yeah.
If it's meant, it ain't going nowhere. If it's not meant, it's going somewhere. And you should let it go.
And you should let it go.
So Keisha Cole said, let it go.
That's
all right.
Good advice.
So, like I said, we've got 2 other retrogrades also happening right now as well. And the reason why I want to mention these 2 as well, I mean, we've got Mercury. We know Mercury happens all the time. It's always going retrograde. So we're not going to go real deep into Mercury retrogrades in general, but I did want to talk about how Mercury and Juno might not know about Juno. Juno is not a planet, but it is an asteroid. And it's the asteroid, I think we did talk about this last week a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's the asteroid that talks about marriage and commitments in relationship in that way. And so because you've got Venus and Juno retrograde, I definitely wanted to touch on those. And of course, Mercury is our plane of communication, and that's also important for relationships.
Yes.
So... So we definitely want to tie in how Mercury and Juno play into this vibe of the Venus retrograde. So Mercury retrograde is from March 15th to April 6th, 7th. I'm sure that time is right around on the edge there.
Yeah, somewhere between there.
Yeah. And so then we have Juno retrograde is March 19th. So this just began.
Okay. Oh, but it's for a lot longer.
And so it is until July 10th. So again, when it comes to those marriages, those commitments, those soul contracts, it's a little longer period. So let's get into Mercury. So, we've got the Mercury, it was in Aries as well as, Mercury and Venus always stay pretty close together. And so it was in Aries. It's moving back into Pisces. So if you think about that communication, you've got, it's very bold, very direct, might be a little messy. The retrograde itself might be a little messy.
That tracks with a lot of the things that we talked about in the relatable content earlier.
Yes. Maybe a little unfiltered in your communication. So again, this is where we want to take some time. Because sometimes, Aries and unfiltered.
It's
not the best combination.
Not always. Always.
Aries needs the filter. They need to.
I'll say it again. All gas, no brakes.
Yeah. We need the filter. It's just especially with your communication.
Look, Aries Mercury over here.
Mercury over here. We
I'm
understand.
talking to myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Need a filter. Yeah. I was trying to explain to my coworkers. Hello. Y'all don't want me to get deep into astrology, but there's a reason why. Again, don't say all the things.
Don't say all the
that
things
I'm thinking about.
It's not
or
necessary.
Many of things. You don't need to know all that. So, as it concerns Mercury, again, we talk about old things coming up, old arguments, delayed messages, tech glitches, right?
Ooh,
accidentally sending a risky text. Ooh.
Be careful.
Don't leave it in the box. Erase it.
That
Don't leave it there just to accidentally get sent.
Double, triple, quadruple check your nudes right about now, okay?
Keep that stuff locked away.
Deeply.
Keep it locked away.
Just wait like a couple weeks. Like we're so close. Like just
no nudes right now.
Just
no
wait.
nudes. Just leave the nudes alone. We love nudes, but just leave them for a little bit. Just tuck them away. So your conversations may feel more like what's being said because some words are going to change things permanently. So you got to watch the words.
Don't say some shit you're gonna regret.
That's what I did during the last retrograde. The last Venus retrograde. Said some shits that we are still trying. Well, I don't know if we're still trying to recover from, but I feel like we are still trying to recover from it because there, it's still very I feel like we're still playing nice. And I'm like, where's the spiciness that we used to have? I feel like we're still in that space. And so sometimes you can say stuff that, again, you're dealing with Virgos, hurt them and they can't get over it. So
Literally,
you just
they
got
will
to
hang
be
on
mindful.
To that shit for life.
For life. You deeply hurt me. I'm like, okay, don't invalidate.
Over that shit? Okay. Just don't take anything I say too seriously. Come on.
It's like, I was mad. Anyway, it's like, I'm sorry, I got Aries Mercury. I was mad. So again, got to slow down, double check everything, triple check, double check. Well, maybe not Shelby today. Don't triple check today, Shelby. But that's tomorrow. Right.
I forgot. Yes. Tomorrow, though, I will.
Tomorrow, yes.
Because we'll still be in a retrograde tomorrow.
Still. And avoid unnecessary drama.
That's just a good rule of thumb all the time, honestly.
All the time. Well, not everybody, because I need to still have my reality shows, okay?
That's true.
And that's all true. That is unnecessary drama.
That's fair. That's fair. We need some excitement in our lives, I suppose.
Some excitement. I don't need it personally, but I do need it to be able to watch it on TV.
Yeah. Yes. I'll concede to that. Yeah. I'll concede to that.
So some of y'all need to continue to run towards the drama. And the rest of us, please avoid it, because again, that Aries energy pops off. And so you might be biting off a little more than you can chew. So that's Mercury. Let's move to Juno. So Juno is in Sagittarius currently and will be going back on into Scorpio. So again, intense energy.
Very intense on both ends. Intense energy,
right? So we got Aries, Mars, Scorpio, Mars, and Pluto again. So we know what Pluto's about.
Oh my God. And go back and listen to that episode if you don't know.
If you don't know about Pluto, okay? Get into that. Prepare yourself, okay? So Juno again talks about our commitments, our soul contracts, our long-term partnerships.
So we're already talking about kind of intense things anyway.
Right.
This is,
These
crazy
are
intense.
Right? These are not just our, little friends. Or maybe it is your little friend, but you're deeply committed to. You just don't have a title, because who needs those? We don't need those. So think about how all of this works together. So we've got those very deep commitments with our love, our money is in there, our communication. Are we going to be really committed or are we afraid to change? It's another question for us in there. How does it all tie together? Do you want to be together? Do you want to be committed to this thing? Or are you just in it?
Are you just in it?
Because it's comfortable.
Because it's so many things coming up right now.
I know a lot of people that be in stuff. I mean, we all do it. We're in stuff because it's comfortable. We're not ready to let the comfort go. And so we kind of start pretending and, hey. I know people in there right now. So ask yourself, spend some time, really do some reflection around, what are you doing? What are you doing here?
What are you doing?
What are y'all doing together?
That's, that is a question that some people need to ask.
What are y'all doing together?
I hope it's not me, but some people, yes.
I feel like you're all right, friend. I feel like you're all right. I don't know.
I think I'm okay.
I don't know on a personal level, but I think
I'm okay. I think I'm okay. I'm feeling pretty good so far.
Right. We're okay. And so, you may be aware of some sudden clarities that you get. Like, hey, something might just pop up. Like, wake up one morning.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it feels different.
Watch out for those things. So some relationships will deepen. and some are going to dissolve away. I shouldn't say that with any level of like, I wasn't gleeful, but I was kind of laughing a little bit.
Well, this is a giggly ass podcast. Yeah,
It
like
is.
sorry, we
Like,
can't help
they
ourselves.
might get deeper, they might dissolve. And like, again, we know what we're hoping for, but
Pisces is we're trying to deliver this very intense, deep message with a pleasant
with a little levity.
amount of levity. Pleasant amount of dissociative levity. I feel like that really encapsulates us.
Yes. So, these are the things that you want to think about for this period of time. Now, once we get into May or, outside of the Juno retrograde, at least, most of these retrogrades will have passed, will be, in some shadow, all that kind of stuff. But at least the main part will have passed. Then you can, hopefully you've done enough reflection and reviewing and thinking on things that you'll be ready for whatever decisions you would like to make once those retrograde periods have ended. Because again, not making any decisions right now.
Please
so
don't.
You might have thoughts, right? You might get some clarity, but hold out, wait till it's over, then make your moves.
Yeah. You don't even have to wait that long.
It's a lot easier that way.
Oof, yes, it sure does.
Just let it flow, okay? Let everything flow. So, I was like, okay, I was going to come back to now. How did that affect my sun and whatnot? So, as we were talking about that conjunction, so now you think about that retrograde Venus energy and how that affects like your core energy. And so I think I've made those connections throughout. Like I've done a lot of reflection over relationships and the things I want, and like now what I'm looking for in another person, and like maybe the things we want to do together, what life, should look like. Lots of things about that. That's what's really happening right now. When Venus connects with my moon in a week or so, there'll be another space. There'll probably be more emotion tied around that.
Yes.
With the moon. There's a lot of energy.
I see some tears in your future.
Definitely gonna be some tears. We're gonna cry. We're gonna cry. Yeah. Even if it's like not bad, like just today. Like I don't even know why I want to cry. I just need to cry. I need to
get this energy out.
My friend's like, I need to cry too, and I'm like, it's the Pisces moon. We both have a Pisces moon.
Yeah, you're feeling it.
You just feel things, and you just need to release them. And so, take your time, friends. Feel your way through. Do your reflection. Do some writing.
Journal.
Do some journaling. And I'm saying this to myself because I am out of practice. But
same. But man, every time I do it, I feel so good. Like it feels so good to get the shit out of your brain onto a piece of paper, and then it feels really good to go back and look later and be like, "Who is that bitch?"
I'm telling you. The thing, like when I let my journaling practice go, I really hate it because that first entry back, I'm like, it's literally like 2 hours of me writing.
Long. My hand
so
gets
many pages.
Tired.
I'm telling you, I'm like, I'm tired. Should I go to doing a voice memo? Let me just talk to you about what's going on.
Please. Yeah.
It's this writing. But the writing is, the actual writing is very helpful. And so, do your reflections, people, and just whatever happens during this time, know that again, if it's meant for you, it will not miss you.
Exactly. I think we've given him some good advice for the retrograde season that we're in.
So that's what I got for you today, friends.
Okay. Well, do we want to take a break and then we'll come back with a little scope, a little horoscope?
Yeah.
And then we'll get out of here.
Then we'll get on out of here, wrap it on up.
All right. BRB, y'all. Hey, y'all. We're back again to present to you a little spring style horoscope. I'm very excited about this.
Yes, since it's Venus retrograde, like, okay, let's get into some Venus things. So let's talk about style. Let's talk about, what's happening with our, our fashions. Yes, the spring. Let's give it fashion week.
It's so springy right now. Like today was like the first day that I walked outside and I was like, ooh, it's hot. It feels kind of hot outside.
Today it's very warm. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like really here for it. Like The spring weather just really makes me feel alive. And like with all this like weird ass energy that's going on, we need something. So thank you for this.
Yes.
Do you want to kick us
I'm
off?
enjoying all the flowers in bloom and all the trees in
God.
bloom and like
I never
sending pictures with my mom of her flowers or her tulips that she planted, and we're like watching them grow. It's like so cute.
It makes me so happy. Like you never realize how bad the seasonal depression has gotten until you see a flower and you're like, I want to cry.
Oh my God. Yes. It's just like, wow, look at everything. It's like
Everything is
every
beautiful.
spring. It's like, oh my God. It's like, thank you, another spring. But
Thank
yes.
God.
All right, let's get into this horoscope. Listen for your sun, your Venus, and your rising sign.
All of the above.
Consider all the things, okay? So we're going to start again with our baby, Aries. So, Aries, starting on March 27th today. Also, it's Mariah's birthday today as well.
Today?
And that was
She's
the
a
thing.
March
Yes.
Aries? Okay.
Yes. I was like, I saw that earlier and I was like, I meant to say it and I forgot. But today, the day we're recording this, March 27th, is Mariah Carey's birthday. And today, this is where we're starting in this horoscope.
Okay.
So, starting on March 27th, Venus will be in your subconscious sector, out of view in some respects, until April 30th. During this time, you may not feel like your typical self, question your clothing choices, or wonder whether your style feels aligned. Take this opportunity to edit your wardrobe, clean your closet, need to do that, and donate items you no longer resonate with. A purge is needed. Yes. So this is an ideal time to focus on flowing, comfortable pieces to wear today. Shoes are excellent items to consider during this period. April 7th and April 24th are perfect dates for shoe shopping. Yes. And that's when Venus and Saturn align in Pisces, the sign that rules the feet.
They always want to get us with some feet bullshit. I swear. I'm not into feet.
This is how Taurus feels about food. And they're like, it's always about food.
It's always about food.
Y'all like me. What you want us to do?
Yeah.
We can't help it. That's what y'all like. So, Aries, avoid making major style purchases for now if possible. Wait until Venus re-enters Aries at the end of April, or even better, until Venus enters Taurus on June 6th. From there, you can best invest your resources according to your taste.
All right. Speaking of Taurus, we're going to get into Taurus next. So again, Taurus rising, Taurus sun, and Taurus Venus. All right. Venus is your planetary ruler, Taurus, making you more sensitive to Venus retrograde than most. So starting March 27th, today, Venus retrogrades back into Pisces, empowering you. Expect to feel in tune with what's trending or happening. With Venus in your humanitarian sector, spring is a great time to explore trends. This period motivates you to be an early adopter and stay ahead of the curve. Don't hesitate to stand out and embrace a more avant-garde style. Additionally, you may want to seek your friends' opinions or advice on your style during this time. Feel free to get advice, but don't let their feedback weigh on you too much if you don't always love what they're wearing. Once Venus enters into your sign on June 6th, shift your focus into investment pieces. For now, strategize your wardrobe. You might consider taking a shopping break when Venus moves into Aries at the end of April.
You know what? That is so aligned.
I was literally just thinking that about Sam. He literally just bought himself some bracelets, and I've never seen him wear bracelets before. And he bought like a little silver bracelet, a little gold bracelet, and was like trying some shit on. I was like, look at you, like trying to swag yourself out. Like, that's so funny. I was like, oh, I was like, where is this coming from? This is where it's coming from.
Yes. I literally was discussing with, one of my TikTok friends. I was like, I feel like April, the end of April. I was like, definitely not the beginning of April because we got a drop coming at the beginning. But at the end of April, I was like, we're about to institute a dry month because I'm like, baby, this is out of control. I'm like,
it's too much.
It's too much. I'm like, sis got to get ready for some other things. My friend wanted us to go to Jamaica. So I'm like, look, we got to get It's
Get
like
it.
we're gonna have to put a pause. Put a pause.
Get it together.
I was like, that right there. Yes, yes,
In
yes. I
alignment.
feel it. I
I
feel
love it
it.
when things are in alignment.
Yes. Okay, Gemini. Venus is at the top of your chart. From March 20th to April 30th, it squares your Sun and Venus. Talk about visibility. People are taking notice of you and what you wear. Could be an excellent time to wear something that makes you feel like a boss or powerful. Consider attire that is inspiring or aspirational. You may also buy more work-related outfits during this spring. I'm just putting words in there. As your public image will factor strongly. Even the most subtle changes will be noticeable to others, as you'll be perceived with precision. I don't know if I want to be perceived with precision. I don't know.
Right. Don't
But
perceive me that hard.
right. This is a lot. You may be reevaluating your image while Venus is retrograde until April 12th. Once Venus re enters Aries on April 30th, you will feel more confident in your overall appearance.
Okay. Next up, we have Cancer, rising Sun, Venus. So this is me. I'm a Cancer rising. Venus is in a fellow water sign from March 27th until April 30th, meaning you're living and loving it up. It's time to pull out the fun, creative, bold colors, patterns, and clothing. Use this time to be more spontaneous or adventurous with your style. Get inspiration from publications, books, movies, or your favorite travel locations. Are you looking to shop for a much needed vacation or trip? This is the perfect time. You may also want to dress a little out of character or unique, because why not? Venus is making harmonious aspects to your Sun or Venus, dancing in your expansive sphere. Dare to be different. You will focus more on your public image once Venus enters into Aries at the end of April. So use this spring and the Venus retrograde as playtime. So I'm just fucking around right now, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, play with things. Get a little different. Get out there. Get outside the box. We love it. Okay. That should vibe very well with your Aquarius placement.
Yes, it will.
All right, Leo. So since Venus is harshly aspecting your Sun from March 27th until the end of April, your wardrobe might seem uninspired. I encourage you to channel this lack of inspiration or tension into pushing the envelope. Focus on the foundations of your wardrobe this spring. What can you rediscover? Inherited items, family pieces, or treasures from thrift or vintage stores might serve you well. To overcome your style plateau, you could also consider a clothing swap. Opt for lingerie, underwear, and intimate clothing that makes you feel sexy or empowered. You'll feel much more inspired and emboldened once Venus enters Aries again on April 30th.
Okay, on to Virgo. Venus will be in your relationship sector from March 27th through the end of April. This is a highly attractive and magnetic time. You are exuding beauty and drawing people in, even if you don't feel it yourself. Use this period to wear something new that makes you feel beautiful. Visibility won't be hard to achieve. Work with mirrors and perform a self-image ritual to enhance your self-esteem and amplify your sensual magic. You may rely more on others' opinions, so seek second opinions. If you're considering hiring a stylist or collaborating with a professional, take action this spring. This is an excellent time for formal wear, dresses, date outfits, or anything that makes you feel comfortable in your skin. You'll receive another significant boost in style when Venus enters Taurus on June 6th.
Oh, I love that, Virgo. Virgo, seek a second opinion. Okay, that's
A
what I
second
want to
opinion.
highlight. Just generally in life.
Just do it. It's a good idea.
Ask another person. It's good practice. Libra, Venus rules you. So this Venus retrograde affects you more than most. Venus will retrograde in Pisces again from March 27th to April 3rd. Venus is King Kunz. I love that one. King Kunz. Your Venus or Sun. Therefore, utilitarian pieces will be the name of the game. Okay. Focus on shopping for staples or everyday wear. This is also a great time to evaluate your athletic wear. Okay, get your little fits together. Concentrate on items you can wear regularly, whether at work or to enhance your typical wardrobe. Consider organizing your closet as well. Your spring style scope emphasizes order. It will help you understand what you currently have and may want or need. Loungewear, shoes, basics, socks, and staple pieces are ideal. Once Venus ends its retrograde on April 12th, you'll feel more inclined and happy to explore fashion. Once it enters Aries again on April 30th, you can fully turn up the heat with your style. All right, it's gonna
Okay.
get popping on April 30th, baby.
I
Okay, so I
know.
know.
Lots is happening.
Okay.
All right, Scorpio, it's your turn. Venus will be moving through your sphere of creativity and self expression for most of early spring, March 27th until April 30th, to be precise. Before entering Aries, thereafter, you may be less inclined to try new things. Venus in Pisces is an excellent time to make subtle updates to your overall style. Focus on items that stand out more. Wear clothing that boosts your confidence or reflects your playful spirit. Concentrate on trim or minor updates if you want to refresh your hair. Save the more dramatic cuts for the full moon in Scorpio in May, so don't get bangs right now.
Okay, Scorpio.
Use this time to get creative with your looks and experiment with something unexpected. Push the envelope. June 6th brings Venus into Taurus, and your allure will be high. This is another perfect opportunity for personal aesthetics. Between June 6th and July 4th, consider hiring a professional or seeking body treatments. Body treatments, okay.
Okay. All right. Is that at the spa or at the Met Spa? Which spa?
Right. What kind of body treatments are we talking
What kind
here?
of body treatments? Are we getting a BBL?
Mhm.
Right. Sagittarius. Starting on March 27th, Venus will move through your life sphere before re entering your creativity sphere on April 3rd. Use this time to indulge in what you already love. Seek comfort, but make it luxurious.
Mhm.
Consider purchasing new pajamas, loungewear, robes, slippers, and underwear. Oh, that sounds very luxurious. Okay.
It does.
Yes.
It does. I
I'm
want
it's
it.
giving silk.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, I love to see it.
You might also find success with hand me downs, thrifting, and repurposed items. Visit the vintage stores. If you've been cleaning out your closet, consider passing your old clothes down to someone in your family. Once Venus enters fellow fire sign Aries on April 30th, you'll feel more ready to step out and be seen. Okay, on the scene. Seen on the scene.
Okay, seen on the scene.
Seen on the scene. Throughout May, I encourage you to embrace your self expression. May is the perfect month for you if you've been wanting to make a significant change to your hair. Okay, who else was changing hair? Scorpio. Scorpio and
Scorpio.
Sag changing
Careful with the hair
Okay.
changes. It's not a
All
good
right.
time. Again, don't
Watch
make any
out.
decisions during the retrograde that you might regret.
Wait until after.
Okay, Capricorn. Venus will harmoniously connect with your sign on March 27th. This is an ideal time to consider technology related purchases, although Mercury is retrograde until April 7th, so maybe it's best to wait till after that. You might want to refresh your accessories. Think about pieces that are more creative, fun, or whimsical. Rings are a great find as this illumination of your chart is linked to the hands. If you're looking for a new bag, this transit can be particularly helpful, especially if it's a catch-all type. Wear items that encourage you to speak up or express your voice. When Venus enters Taurus on June 6th, you'll feel more in tune with yourself. June is a perfect time to use your style to boost your confidence and make a significant wardrobe change if you wish. Okay.
I love it. Look, Capricorn, if you need a catch up bag, holler at me. I got the right one for you. I got the one. I
Yes,
got the
our
one.
local bag expert
Just
here.
hit me up. Come on, bag lady over here. Okay.
Bag
I
lady.
got you,
Don't make me sing the
Capricorn.
song.
Bag lady. Bag lady. Come on, yes.
You did it justice much better than I would have. Let me tell you.
Hey. All right, we were moving to Aquarius. All right, so now with Venus entering your money sector, I love this for you, Aquarius. On March 26th, it's clear that a shopping spree could be on the horizon. I want to be Aquarius today. Be cautious of impulsive spending, as Venus retrogrades are known for emotional credit card swiping sprees. Okay, well, maybe not. You might not fully see it in the moment, but you will feel it in the long run. Ain't that I know about that now. Listen, that's a lesson I have learned.
Yeah.
Yes. If you've been eyeing a luxury item, research and avoid purchasing it between now and April 12th. Aim to buy when Venus is in Taurus starting June 6th. Instead, take some time to go through your closet and explore what you already own for inspiration. Venus encourages you to find value in your possessions. Jewelry could be a great purchase this spring, and staple items you will have multiple uses. Uses
is.
That's where we are now. Uses.
Mm-hmm. It's
Y'all
almost
know
the end
what
of the
I'm
episode,
saying.
y'all.
It's almost the end, y'all. It's and it's almost 10 o'clock. So that's where it goes at this time. Okay, I'm sorry, there's more. You may feel sociable when Venus moves into Aries at the end of April. Any new items you acquire in the upcoming weeks will be showcased best through May and June.
Okay. I was taking notes, my Aquarius Venus, because you know that I love an unnecessary credit card swipe. So I'm trying really hard. I just got a job. I won't get paid until the middle of April. So I'm like, okay.
Just take it easy.
Don't spend that money. Don't spend that money, okay? All right.
Yes.
Last but not least, of course, we have Pisces. Venus is in your sign, and you are experiencing your Venus return from March 27th to April 30th. This is the perfect time to make some updates. Focus on wearing what makes you feel attractive, beautiful, and enjoyable. If you want to change your wardrobe, this is the transit for you. Significant hair changes should happen after April 12th, or you can find charm in revisiting an old look. Makeup and skincare adjustments would be excellent choices too. Try to stick to the status quo while Venus is in retrograde. During the retrograde, experiment with what you already have. You will gain more clarity about your style after the retrograde ends on April 12th. Venus in Aries will mark a time for solidifying your aesthetic starting April 30th. By mid-May, you'll feel more confident wearing the items you've been experimenting with. Okay, so now we're just trying things out for right now. That's what I heard.
Try things, don't cut your hair.
Don't make a big hair change.
And don't cut her.
It's a good time to not do
You'll
that.
regret it.
Okay, well, that's all we have for y'all tonight.
That's it. It's the end of the show. Like, we enjoyed you. We hope you got something here. And, it's time to get up out of here. You can stay, but we gonna leave.
You don't have to go home, but you do have to get out of here.
Have to get up out of here. All right. So we would like you to engage with the weekly polls. I still gotta get the weekly polls up from last week, but
we'll do it. We'll get there.
Engage with them. Yes, we'll get there, y'all. And talk to us. Let us know your thoughts. Send us your comments, your questions, your birth charts, your synastry charts. All the charts.
All of the charts, please.
You want us to read them? You got questions about your life? Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Send us an email.
Where do we send those?
Yes, the email is suchapiscespod@gmail.com. It is spelled SuchaPiscespod@gmail.
And as always, you can also find us at Such a Pisces Pod on Instagram and TikTok. I realized today that we're using the intro. We didn't record a new intro for this season because it's a lot of work. But also, in the intro, I talk about having a Twitter account, which I have since deleted because Elon Musk is terrible. And then also the Instagram account that I literally never use. I should probably update both of those things. But just find the pod accounts. You'll find us on TikTok. You'll find us on Instagram. And as as I say every time, if you have not by now, if you made it to this far in the show and you haven't given us a 5-star review, what are you even doing? Please go give us a review on whatever your preferred podcast platform is. We'd love to hear from you. Share the episode with a friend. Thank you for listening, but also share. Because if you liked it,
take one and pass it, y'all.
Okay? If you made it this far, you clearly like us. Come on.
Pass it around. Share the love. That's what we said at the beginning, right? Share the love. Share the love. Okay.
Share the love.
It's Pisces energy.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to get up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell you to stay safe in these streets
Mm-hmm.
and definitely protect your energy.
And as always, please, during a retrograde, seduce and scheme safely.
Heavy on the safely. All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.